So this is working. Yes, I can hear that. So thank you very much. So maybe we should start by introducing ourselves. So my name is Jenny.
And my name is Hélène Pernot. I'm in charge of the sustainable offer at Arkema.
And I'm a global marketing director at Perstorp. So maybe we should start, why are we here together? Why are we doing this presentation together? Well, we really want to present a new approach and a new collaborative approach to face the challenges that we see with the sustainable transformation. And the sustainable transformation is something that we are, I think, all are facing. Just walking around the show here, it's quite obvious that that's something on everyone's mind today. And we really believe that in order to solve this, we need to go beyond a traditional customer-supplier relationship and work in an ecosystem, connecting the dots really to match the downstream requirements with the upstream capabilities.
So, as you know, and as we hear every day in the news, sustainability challenges are raising new expectations among all stakeholders to transform the society. And it will be a game changer for our economy. And as a supplier of materials and raw materials, we have a key role to play in this transformation. As part of the equation to change the world is to change the material we use. And to drive this transformation, we have three key priorities. Develop solutions which are safer for people and the planet. Develop solutions which will lower the carbon footprint across the value chain to protect the climate, and develop solutions which will contribute to the circular economy to preserve resources. Now, working on solutions which are safer is not new to the industry. It's something that we will continue to do. But working on climate and circularity is new, and for this we need to develop new ways of working with more collaboration across the value chain to contribute to these new challenges.
So if we take a look at the value chain for the coating industry, this is a typical picture. That if we look at the carbon emissions generated, then normally more than 90% of the carbon emissions being generated are either from upstream or downstream activities. So less than 10% is normally generated by, in this case, a paint company. And this is, of course, really important to collaborate together, because all the design decisions or formulation decisions being taken at the company will, of course, have an impact on what's possible or not from a sustainable raw material perspective. So, of course, partnering up along the value chain will be crucial to reduce the carbon footprint. And there are primarily four key drivers to enable this. Of course, the durability. We want to have products lasting longer before they are being replaced. We have sustainable performance in use. We have the reduction of the energy used while we are processing and producing these products. And we have, very important, of course, alternative feedstocks. And we will dig into alternative feedstock as one of the key drivers to do this transformation.
And the objective, as you know, when we speak alternative feedstocks, is to replace virgin fossil by either bio-based or recycled feedstocks in order to use feedstocks which are renewable and which will contribute to a reduction of carbon footprint. And to implement this transition toward alternative feedstock, there are several ways to do it. Two methods are the segregation and the mass balance approach. The choice to use one method or the other depends on the availability of raw material upstream, if we have the material. And so at Arkema, we support both approaches, and we have started to implement both approaches in order to accelerate the transition and move out of virgin fossil. And today we will have a focus on mass balance approach and
So really the essence of the mass balance approach is, of course, to replace virgin fossil material with bio-based feedstock. So the bio-based feedstock and the fossil feedstock, it's mixed in the production process, but it's segregated in the bookkeeping. And we are applying a certification system, ISCC Plus, and that is a cradle-to-gate certification system. So it means that all suppliers upstream need to be certified in order to carry this certification system. Yes, so this means that we can then deliver products with this certification, certifying that we are using a certain amount of bio-based raw materials in our system, and with a product that is certified then to our customers.
And the benefits of the approach is that we start to replace virgin fossil by recycled and bio-based feedstocks, and for that contribute to the circular economy and reduce significantly the emission of CO2 linked to the feedstocks. And this method enable an immediate shift as the products are readily available. They also have, as you may know, the bio-attributed product have the exact same performances as the fossil grade, so there is no qualification needed, nor any capex to implement the solutions.
So the ISCC certification is a certification system that is growing in terms of number of certificate holders. So it has actually doubled in recent years. And it is endorsed by NGOs, by research organizations, and by brand owners. So we really believe that this type of certification system for mass balance products will be the industry standard going forward.
And in terms of benefits for the company, so the solution supports customers' objectives in terms of sustainability, in terms of decarbonization. It will contribute, using a biomass balance product, will contribute to reduce Scope 3 emission at the corporate level, but it's also a solution which can be used for product differentiation, which marketing based on sustainable attributes, such as claims or label linked to CO2, lower CO2 emission, bio-based with mass balance, or contributing to circular economy. And we see here that the ISCC has developed some logos to support the claims, and these logos are already used by brand owners to claim this kind of sourcing on consumer goods.
So let's take more of a real example, so to say. We have taken the MPG produced by Perstorp, and I can mention that the fossil version is already quite low in product carbon footprint, as we are producing it primarily on renewable energy. And then if you switch to MPG based on renewable content marketed under the name Nature, and 40 means 40% of renewable content, then you will lower the product carbon footprint significantly And if you are using Nature N100, which is our MPG based on 100% renewable raw material, you will reduce it even further. You will actually get negative carbon footprint.
And so we wanted to give you the translation when we use this NPG into a powder, polyester powder resin. So NPG is one of the raw material used in powder polyester resins. And you can see that it can generate up to 35% of CO2 saving into the resin. After, on top of that, we are working also on the other materials of the on the other raw material of the polyester resin, the acids, for example. So it's a work in progress, and it will enable to further reduce the CO2 emissions of resins.
So to summarize, what key takeaways do we want you to bring back? Then we really believe that mass balance is, of course, not the only approach, but it's a really important approach to transition towards renewable raw materials. We also think that credibility is a key, that using a traceable and credible mass balance approach is, of course, important. And in our case, we have chosen the ISCC Plus certification for our products.
And so to conclude, so to move the lines, we need to find new ways of working with collaboration across the value chain. So we invite you to work with us and collaborate in order to participate to the transformation and shape the future together.
Thank you very much.